Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Wednesday night edition of the Real Chat Daddy Show. I am your host, Chat Daddy, and I'm glad to be here with you guys on this wonderful Wednesday evening. Well, we'll talk about if it's been a wonderful Wednesday or not. We've had a lot of things unfold during the day here in the United States of America, and we have much to talk about tonight. I had one co-host, but now we have another co-host that will be joining us so that we can talk about what went on in our country today. Just sit back, relax, hang out with us. Do me a favor, start a watch party. All you have to do is hit the share button and start a watch party so other people can join the show. You can also watch the show live on YouTube. So if you have a flat screen television or you're able to project onto a wall, you can watch the show there as well too. So glad to be here. We usually start off with giving you guys the latest COVID-19 update numbers, but we'll wait till later on in the show to give you guys those numbers. What happened today in our country is just beyond anything that we can imagine. First, a global pandemic, all of the suffering that we've been going through since last year, and now today we watch people overthrow our capital, and this is just unheard of, to say the least. So let me bring in our guest co-host so I don't wake up after other people do this. He's been here with us many times before. I consider him my brother, my friend, business executive, Mr. Kevin Ross of Two Guard Media. He is back. What up, brother? How are you? Are you there?
I'm good, bro.
Hey, brother, what's going on?
Hey,
I'm
man.
good. How you doing? What a crazy day we've had. I'm exhausted from this day.
It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood. A beautiful.
Oh no, it's crazy.
Totally opposite of that
It
today.
is crazy,
man.
Yes, absolutely, to say the least. Well, we do have a lot to talk about tonight. Our co-host, Kevin, I appreciate you being available at the last minute, but I always know when it's a hotbed issue like this that you always want to chime in on the conversation. But my original co-host, and with her beautiful self, is the one and only Miss Diteria Towns. And here's the funny part about all of this. Tonight was strictly dedicated to relationships. We were going to talk about The Bachelor, all of that. And then everything took place today. The entire world has changed as we know it here in the United States. And I forgot she was a congressional aide for 8 years. Who better to be our co-host than someone who would have been right there in the middle of it all? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. Our favorite Gemini sister, but most importantly, this is a woman with a brain. She was a congressional aide for 8 years. This was her stomping grounds. The one and only Miss Diteria Towns. Yay! Hello, darling.
Everyone. How are you?
Hey.
Hi.
Art knows me. He had me at beautiful.
See?
I don't need the qualification.
See?
Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I so appreciate it.
Happy New Year, my dear. So glad to have you back on the show. Whenever you're here, we always have a great time. Last night, I pumped you up for being, we were going to have this whole Gemini party tonight. All of your personalities was going to hang out. We was going to talk about love.
Dress for you.
You did. You look great, and we appreciate that. But today, something happened in our country that we've never ever seen before. And you would have been there if you still would have been working as a congressional aide. Tell us about your thoughts of today.
Well, hello, gentlemen, and thank you so much for allowing me to be on the show today. I'm Diteria Towns. Yes, as you can see, the TV have not moved since 1 o'clock this afternoon when I felt like all hell broke loose. Immediately, I thought about the congressman. I used to work for Congressman Bobby L. Rush for 8 years. And I immediately text him. I text shout out to all the congressional staffers that was on the Hill. Ingrid Boyd, we have Nish Penneth. He was actually with the congressman, so that made me feel good. The congressman texted me and said that he was doing good. So, my prayers are with every member of Congress. I'm so happy right before the show started that Nancy Pelosi said that, as soon as the Capitol is clear, when they get all clear from Capitol Police, that they're going to continue the business at hand with certifying those votes for the election.
Yeah.
And I was telling Chad earlier today, you guys don't know, working on the Hill is a different life. So there's a different ID, different color. It's like a different status of even living in the United States of America. And the Capitol Police don't play. Even if I'm like running to a bill real quick, you know, you got to have your ID on you. You have to have certain clearance. You just can't just bell up in the Capitol like that. So now that really makes me think, as I had time to think about it, it was a setup somewhere. Someone, hey, Ms. Mason, somewhere, somebody knew what's going on. And I do believe once, and that's another thing about the Capitol, it's cameras everywhere. So give it a minute. All the truth is going to come out by tomorrow morning. I do believe that.
Well, you know what? I was saying the same thing earlier. I said to myself, I said, listen, I've been to government buildings. I've been to the White House twice. Going to places like that is like traveling at an international airport. You are checked, double checked. So I'm trying to figure out, how were they bum rushed? See, this leads me to believe that there are a lot of overweight, lazy guards at these places, and this is like their cushy retirement job or something.
No.
Or this was really an inside job with all of those people in law enforcement. That's what I'm starting to think.
I'm with you on that one, but also think about, look at all these members of Congress and the senators that they knew. Think about it. Put your hats on, everyone. On Monday, when President Trump was, I'm sorry, didn't mean to call him Agent Orange, when he did that big rally in Georgia, he was giving subtle hints and giving us nuggets, but we didn't even look at it. He said something about to Pence, if Pence does his job on Wednesday, blah, 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 blah. And you know, if he don't do his job, well, you know what's going to happen. He said that. And then you start to look at his tweets. You know, I've been digging all day since 1:30. Like, let me see what he said. Because he talked about Pence. And then I believe his people, you had those Trumpers, those magma people who was ready to set it off. And that's what they did.
Mm-hmm. And to add to that, I just saw a news item that says a number of those tweets have now been deleted.
Oh, I did screenshots.
Yeah. A number of the president's tweets have now since been deleted, based on what you're saying in regards to what he was saying at the rally that he just had. And I think another thing that we need to look at here, quite obviously, is that it's a real problem when the hotels in Washington, D.C. are more prepared than the Capitol Police and security.
Yes.
It's a problem when you have the military, the National Guard, D.C. Police, and Capitol Police available to walk Donald Trump across the street to a church to take a picture and tear gas peaceful protesters, and yet they were overwhelmed today, and there was no presence from any of those other law enforcement entities.
Yes.
That is a large disparity, and that is a large problem.
Yes.
Well, as Thyteria said, at 1 o'clock this afternoon, things quickly went on a downturn. I'm more worried about the fact that we are in the middle of a pandemic. COVID-19 is real. We're still hearing high numbers in places that are epicenters of this. We still have not gotten over the holiday influx of cases. And now you have thousands and thousands of people who stormed the Capitol building, who shut it down. I can only imagine the Rona fest that was today.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
And not to mention the woman who was shot and killed. Now, my understanding that she died.
Yes, she died.
There was somebody that was shot and killed and died during this actual event, and it's just. I look at this and Art, you and I had this conversation earlier, and we've had this conversation many times before. And I have friends now that since this summer, they call me Minister Farrakhan Jr., all these names. Look, I've had this summer to take a good look at these United States of America and this country and its democracy and its constitution and its failures. And this year alone has shown us the massively underwhelming structure of this country in terms of its constitution, in terms of medical care, education. We see the rejection of science. And another thing, this is a country that has always been able to deal with problems one of two ways. Either it intimidates or it becomes violent and uses violent action. This country has been at war, for example, since 1776. The United States has been involved in a war or a conflict for about 225 of its 243 years has been involved in some type of war or conflict. And that's the only way, and that's why this pandemic has been so difficult for the United States, aside from the fact that our infrastructure is a disaster in all of the major categories that it's supposed to be strong in, right? The biggest problem is that this is an enemy that it can't get its hands on. You can't shoot it, you can't beat it, you can't threaten it. These are things, and so the United States is helpless in this type of a situation. And we're seeing it failure after failure after failure after failure. And there's all a reason for that. This has been coming for quite some time, to be honest. If you look this past year, 2020, we've been dealing with problems that are 50 years old, 60 years old, 80 years old, 100 years old.
Since the country was built.
Women's rights, medical care, employment, the disparity, wealth disparity between the rich and the poor. And when you have any of those things in a republic, the republic is weak and the republic is destined to fall. You cannot have these types of weaknesses. And we saw that today. You cannot treat those people should not be treated any differently than the people who pulled down the statues and then were engaged. The president engaged the Department of Justice to go pursue people who were pulling down statues.
Right.
And yet somehow we don't have one arrest. We don't have any suspects. We don't have anything for what occurred today. We don't have an explanation for that. You can't have those things.
I agree with you. Oh my God, I need a tamarind and everything because you are telling the truth. At the end of the day,
right.
But somebody said that earlier. Cheeto Satan, I think it was Takana. Takana, you right on the point. Cheeto Satan, this is why he was in office. He wanted to break down the democracy that's already here, and he wanted to show the flaws. But the problem is, our enemies, our friends, our allies are seeing that. Guess what? United States of America, y'all weak and y'all ain't number punks because you couldn't have nobody come and break down that stuff what they did over here. Let it happen in Iran, Iraq, Israel, anywhere in South America, Mexico. You know, we sending troops, we sending everything.
Yep.
But what we doing here?
We can't handle.
No.
How is it that we can't handle? We can't handle a simple arrest. We can't handle an election. We can't handle a pandemic. This is supposed to be a civilized industrial nation, the most powerful in the world, right? But that's what happens when you start feeding kids early in school about a country and you don't talk about the weaknesses so they can grow up and help fix those weaknesses.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. That's right.
And now we are in a position where our weaknesses are exposed and there's nothing we can say about it. I watched CNN today. I watched Fox today, and they all keep saying the same thing. This is an assault on our democracy, and this is such a shock. You got to stop saying that because we haven't lived up to that democracy in over 200 years.
But it's our words.
Up to the principles of the Constitution.
But it's our words.
And so now, why are you shocked that when it comes down to it, when you have to lean on those principles, they fail you? That's what's going to happen.
Because it showed all the flaw in the doggone Constitution, and it ain't nothing but a whole bunch of words.
That's right. Meant for
the white folks that they did when it first came.
That is correct. There it is, right there.
That's the whole show right here.
That's the whole problem right there. That's the whole show. You cannot have two divisions and call it the United States. You can't be divided this way. You are doomed for failure when you have it. The people will revolt. That's going to happen.
Right. Because a lot of people are saying
revolted today. It was the hillbillies that revolted today.
Right.
Absolutely. Right. Okay. And so let me add to that. A lot of people today were saying that they did not feel bad about what happened here in Chicago this past summer with all the rioting, the protesting, the looting, the things like that. Because here's what a lot of people, and I had this conversation with people, those are young people that the materialistic things that they stole, looted, and all of that made them feel like they were equal, made them feel like it was a come up for them. Where these hillbillies today feel as if other races has gotten the grants, the loans, the housing, the whatever. That's the group today that probably took their $600 checks and went to DC to do that foolishness today. Because I want to know, how was thousands of people available and ready? He had a rally earlier, and look how this turned into this. So he's doing nothing but making a certain demographic of people feel empowered. And it's horrible.
And that's very astute of you to notice that when they've done psychological studies on Trump supporters and those who support Donald Trump, one of the aspects of that support is based on their feeling that they're a victim somehow, and feeling that they need to be empowered somehow, and feeling that they need somebody that speaks for them. And so whenever he says anything, see, you can't have the president of the United States who is not accountable to the law, who's able to break the law, who's able to bypass the Constitution. You can't have the president of the United States do that and then not think that other people will feel that they can do the same thing.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I
don't know.
On the head, but I also believe that everything that he has done since he's been in office is just to show people what he can do, and showed all the flaws. He brainwashed these individuals to believe that everything he said is shit is gold. And even like his tweets earlier today, you heard you say that they took him down. I was screenshotting. So I make sure I posted screenshots earlier because he said, and I did curse his ass out, but it never made it to Twitter. I was like, fucking Cheeto say, I'm sorry, curse. But I said some, not ladylike words because those words don't come out my mouth. But I was mad earlier today. Like, you allowed these individuals to go out here in these streets. You steady saying, even his Twitter message that was like, I don't think it was even 2 minutes long. That said that even though the election was stolen by, you know, and I'm sitting here like, y'all hear this?
He said he ended it. He ended it by saying, "We love and appreciate you." These are people who stormed the Capitol, and a person was shot and killed. This is very reminiscent of what happened down in South Carolina. Well, and this is all the same thing. He hasn't shown, he hasn't shown us anything different in 4 years. We know who he is. What we didn't know, or what most people didn't know, is who America is.
I think black folks knew who America is. We've been, hell, what's that boy name? This is America.
From the show Atlanta.
Childish Gambino.
Childish Gambino. This is America.
There have been a number of people who have tried to communicate effectively as African Americans to us that these problems exist and how we can change them, which is why I want to, as much as we want to talk about what happened today, I have to acknowledge Stacey Abrams. Yes. I have to acknowledge Raphael Warnock, Minister Warnock. I have to acknowledge John Ossoff. I have to acknowledge the people in Atlanta and in Georgia. I have to acknowledge those people. Why? Because they showed you what happens when you know there's a problem, when you know there's something that you need to address, when you know you need to organize, when you know you need to do it peaceably, when you need to do it intelligently, and when you need to execute. I thought it was impossible to turn Georgia. I will be very honest. I was the first one saying, hey, they're not going to be able to do this. This is a stronghold of racism. This is a stronghold of white power. And yet they were able to do it. So I would be remiss if I did not acknowledge the job that was done by everybody in Georgia. I have to say that.
Cheers
that's
to
why
Georgia.
That's why my lights just turned blue. Hey, Georgia.
Hey, Georgia.
Hey, Georgia. Yay,
got
we are
some peach
very
Ciroc
proud.
for y'all.
That's right. I'm gonna have some peach brandy later, Georgia. Yes, we love you all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But then we all know what happened today was a result of the fact that they knew it was gonna turn. They knew, you know, that it was gonna be a problem. And I don't think we've seen the end of this either. World leaders all over the country all responded to what happened today. The president of Canada, prime ministers from all over the country, even the mayor of the city of Chicago in her statement said, this is not a democracy, this is a disgrace. And she went on to say,
but I gotta put a pause on her because shout out to Mike Love for telling the truth in that tweet that she put out. And he said, Mike Love, wherever you at, I don't even know you, but you HNIC today. When he was like, but when it was burning up the south side of the city of Chicago, Mayor, what were you and what was the democracy then when you told the cops to stand down? Oh, I digress. Right. Keep going.
She can't get a break, can she? She can't get a break. She can't.
She didn't come in she hasn't come in. I had this discussion with a friend of mine. She didn't come in at a good time. And I think that this would be a job, this would be difficult for anybody to do. I really do. And at the end of the day, the best thing you can be is honest. You have to be honest with yourself, and you have to be as honest as you can with everybody else, because she's not going to fix a police department that leads the country in misconduct funds paid out and then misconduct. She's just not going to fix that overnight, most certainly, if ever. And the budgetary problems that, you know, the Illinois has been, experiencing budgetary problems from deals that were made in the 70s before a lot of us, I was only 10 years old back then. And a lot of those deals were put in place and they were mortgaged against the future. And then you have accrued interest on the money that they borrowed against. That's not the people on us, this call, me, all three of us and the rest of us. That's not our fault. And she's going to have a hard time, you know, Pritzker and her are going to have a hard time dealing with these things that have already occurred since before they got here. So their best bet is to be as honest and open as they can. That's why Cuomo's my hero in New York. He doesn't play.
He's cute. I love him.
He doesn't play. He's honest. When he makes a mistake, he owns that mistake. If you try to play with him, you're not going to play with him. When Trump tried to play with him, he didn't take it. You know, that's your best bet in a situation like this, because again, as we've said before, this country as a whole, the United States as a whole, has this is a collective problem. Donald Trump is not completely responsible for what we saw today. This has been brewing.
Everything.
Yeah, this has been brewing. This has been coming since the 70s and the Watts riots. The 60s.
What's his name? Malcolm X. The roosters that came home to roost.
The chickens have come home to roost. That's probably my favorite line out of the movie. Shout out to Denzel. That's probably my favorite line out of the movie, is that this has been brewing for quite some time. Again, you can't. America's been declining since the end of World War II. It's impossible for us to have a pandemic and have rejected science the way that we have so much, and yet this country has had the most Nobel Prize winners for medicine and science since the award's inception in history. And yet somehow we can't get through a pandemic, and now we can't even get into a vaccination program, and that makes no sense. It makes no sense unless you look at the fact that it wasn't equipped to do that in the first place, because only the rich can afford health care. You can't have that in a country of 330 million people. Everybody's not rich.
Well, today it was said that the people we saw who did the protests and, you know, made their way into the Capitol would be considered the new white privilege. That, you know, today was truly your new white privilege, making sure that they get what's theirs. Again, as I said earlier, feeling as if they've been left out, as if, you know, things are as tough for them as it would be for anybody brown or black. Thyteria, I noticed you kind of, what was you thinking about that? Because I know Kevin ready to fire back.
Oh my God. When I saw the text messages and tweets about white privilege of what they have, and no one was calling. It took them a minute for CNN to call them what they really are: terrorists
and rioters.
Right. I was sitting here like, did anybody watch the movie The Purge?
Right.
Yes.
Right.
That's what's happening right before our eyes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Actually, to be very honest, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, real quick. This is what I'm pissed off about, because I was looking at like a lot of my friends from DC. Shout out to Jen Waltz. Jen was sending us tweets from last night in DC how they were being antagonists against the police. Nobody knew that these motherfuckers was about to shut the shit down the next day.
Right. Man.
Yeah, all of them are involved.
Well,
what was going on, and the black people just sitting back now. We got our popcorn. I think I saw somebody meme earlier. They played that Michael Jackson meme. Sitting back, eating your popcorn like, told y'all, it ain't us. Y'all want to go over us because we walk around, our Black Lives Matter, because we the ones that built that doggone White House over there. I'm sorry if they did not know that.
Right.
But now that they're climbing the damn walls looking like they're damn monkeys, they the ones looking like damn monkeys and fools climbing that damn wall, not us.
And actually, this actually started last year when they were talking about their rights and freedom and having to wear a mask, and this is unconstitutional. And how dare you take our rights? And I said now you know what it feels like for us for 200 years, 200 plus years. Now you know what it's like to have somebody tell you that you can't do this, tell you that you can't do that, not give you an opportunity, shut your business down without you being able to do it, all of that stuff. And it was funny to me to hear them talk about their rights then and the police then. If you were watching what was happening in Michigan, if you were watching what they did to that governor in Michigan, what they were doing in Philadelphia, in Pennsylvania, you could see that this was coming. They already did that. You already had terrorists that were arrested for threatening the governor of Michigan.
They was going to kidnap that woman
and take her out to the middle of Lake Michigan. Like they said that.
We got intel on that. You telling me? And
right.
I just personally cannot go to those websites because I don't know what my life is going to take me and what future husband I'm going to have. So I don't want them to, look at the record and say I was
right. Look at your search history.
Right. But you telling me that the FBI, CIA, and everybody else, they weren't getting any type of intel that these fools like the damn fool today? Come on, now we in the United States of America, and that's all it's showing. Our enemies like Kim Jong-un and Yim Jong-ching, whatever his little name, North South Korea. You got him. You got doggone Putin.
Yep.
And all these other little countries looking at us like, damn. They own people did that. Hell, let's see what we can do.
They've been doing that since last year. Trust me. They've taken a good look at our infrastructure. They've taken a good look at our security. They've taken a good look at all the disarray and our governmental structure and the people. They've looked at the turnover in the White House. Over 80% of his staff has been turned over since he's been president.
Well, because just this evening, not to cut you off, but the First Lady's chief of staff resigned this evening. And
wow.
she resigned as a response to what happened today.
Wow.
And then real quick, here's what I'm so concerned about more than anything. We live in a very technology savvy world. Today is actually National Technology Day. I'm concerned with the number of young people who went in today with phones on, recording, taking pictures. If you look at the live coverage, you see young people snapping pictures of what were laid out on the desk and what's in the drawers and all of that. Our dirty panties is getting ready to really be exposed. Right.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. It's, again, I think that, when you take a look at the two-party system, when you take a look at the Electoral College, when you take a look at the fact that California can have 5 times as many people as Alabama, but still get the same number of representatives that go to Congress, you have a lot of broken issues. You have a lot of issues with this country, and this was bound to happen. And they're lucky it wasn't worse than this. They're lucky that people weren't really armed with anything more than 2 guns.
Right.
Right.
or bombs. You saw what just happened with man in Nashville. Like,
right, in Nashville, exactly.
and that's what made me so afraid to reach out to the congressman, because soon as if you guys were in my house, this is my whole computer setup. I got like 4 computers over here, and for some reason none of them worked earlier, but 4 computers set up. And when I turned around to look at the news, I'm like, what? My heart just sunk, because I just think about what happened if someone had a bomb, or what happened if someone had this, to, be reassured. And what you guys don't know, there's so many little hidden tunnels and crevices on that doggone hill.
Yep.
That I gotta had access to, but the average individual didn't.
Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. Actually, that's what they took Pence out through the tunnels when it started to escalate.
Yeah. So it's I mean, just show it, like Chat Daddy just said, it just showed United States, your filthy, nasty draws with the doggone stains in the front, the back, the sides, and it's holy. Oh,
yeah.
Yes.
When I prefer that line in Coming to America when he said, "Don't use the bathroom down the hall." There was a point where we were a big, large bathroom with marble floors and a beautiful gold-plated shower head and all these wonderful things. And now we've dropped.
Right. Yeah, no, I agree 100%. Oh my God. Are you there, my dear? Okay, she's back. Yay. All right. Well, let me do this real quick.
Working. I had to do it.
Wait. I know you sound good though. Wait, we got an echo now though. The volume of something needs to be. Oh, wait, let me delete this one. Hold on. You're doing a good job though. Wait.
I want to see the comments.
You want to see? Oh, okay, there we go.
My chat says private. That means it's just.
Oh, I don't know why.
How do I get to all the comments? I don't either.
It should be there. I'm putting them up as soon as we're getting them. All right, so let me do this real quick. All right, for those of you all that are just joining us, welcome to the Wednesday night edition of the Real Chat Daddy Show. I am your host, Chat Daddy. I'm here Monday through Thursday night from 7 to whenever we get tired. We talk about the top news, entertainment stories of the day. We give you the COVID-19 update, as well as lifestyle, health, wellness, you name it. Tonight's show was really designed to help you guys get your love life together in 2021. And my beautiful co-host, Miss Thyteria Towns, we were supposed to talk about things that people can kind of do in 2021 to better improve their relationships. When all hell broke loose about 1 o'clock this afternoon in the United States Capitol, Donald Trump protesters decided to take over, and I was just in total disbelief as all of that unfolded. Just like many other people, I felt that was a disgrace today. Our current president took to Twitter to make a statement about go home and we all love you. I still don't understand what that is. Our president-elect Joe Biden took to national television to encourage us all to come together, to try to calm people, to try to say this is all just a hot mess. And in a time now more than ever, this is what we need to hear. Yes. Please keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, we are in the midst of a pandemic. Okay, that right there is enough to set people off. Secondly, our unemployment rate is absolutely ridiculous. People are losing their homes. All kind of things are going on. And we have people now shutting down our democracy. Mm-hmm. Unbelievable. So also joining us tonight is Mr. Kevin Ross. Yes.
When you get to a point where there's something called a reckoning. And this is the reckoning that was coming. None of us expected it. If you're like I am and you're very spiritual, you understand that the way God operates is that He moves without warning.
Yeah.
Sometimes it is swift, severe.
In the night.
In the night. And it is an enemy that you will not be able to stop. You will not be able to avoid. You will not be able to lie your way out of it. You will not be able to fight it. And so this is a reckoning for the United States. We've been through so much just in the past year alone. But again, all of that. And I remember having a conversation with my cousin when Donald Trump got elected. I remember the shock when Hillary didn't win, and I remember the feeling I had, the feeling of dread, and I was teary eyed, and I just said, I can't believe this, man. This country and this is America. How could this happen? And the good people always win. And how did And I remember my cousin called me that next morning, and he was in tears, and he said, I don't understand. You're the only person I could call. I said, look, let's talk about it. Long story short, we had this conversation, and I said, man, I know we don't understand right now. I know it's tough to accept that she didn't win. And I know that it's tough to accept who did win. I say, but God has a reason for every single thing that he allows. Remember that God works two ways. He will directly affect, or he will allow for something to happen in order to achieve. And so Donald Trump had to be president for 4 years in order for us to see exactly what's weak in all of us. He had to win, and then Hillary had to lose, and then we had to have the pandemic. We had to have these things. And again, my prayers go out to the families of the 330,000 dead Americans. It's beyond belief that that's the entire population of Cincinnati if they just drop dead today. And
right,
so beyond belief that the advanced industrial nation in the world is still struggling with this thing. It makes no sense. And then unable to get a vaccination program off the ground. And I saw that coming when he was speaking last year in these press conferences, and he was saying, they asked him, Mr. President, what is your plan once the vaccine arrives? You know what he kept saying? The military is ready to deliver. And I said, that's not a plan.
Right.
That's not a plan. They asked you what the plan is. That's not a plan. And he kept saying that. And so here we are, just like I knew, we're unable to execute even a vaccine program. It's just the worst of all worlds.
But Kevin, can I give Kevin a shout out? Because this
yes,
is
please.
I've been saying this since before last year. But last year, we already know that was a shit show. I know people got married, engaged, and a whole bunch of positive things. They started new business. Everybody and their mama got some stimulus money or whatever, except me. But they found the beauty in all of this, chaos that was going on. But when all of this was going on today, I don't know what movie it came from, or if it was probably in some real biblical time where it was like God was with the devil and was like, I'm gonna give you free reign over there and let unleash your demons and let them do whatever they want to do. And then God ultimately is gonna come in and sweep us back together and just cleanse the world of all the bad tyranny that's going on. I don't know if it was a movie or it was in the back of my head, but this is like, Lucifer is just like, I'm about to show y'all what all the wreck and havoc I am going to do. And once you believe God, then the world's going to come back together. So,
and when you look at,
I could do that, huh?
And when you look at our elected representatives, for example, and you're looking at a lot of situations where, for example, you have elected individuals. These are people who we pay. These are people that are supposed to be elected for the people, by the people. We've gotten away in politics from them serving us. Now somehow we are beholden to them. I don't know where the switch was turned, but we have a real problem in the fact that you have over 6 million unemployed Americans, over 30 million more people who are either disenfranchised one way or another. We haven't been able to get a vaccine program up, and yet we still have individuals that are making $200,000 a year to go up to the Capitol and represent their districts, and yet we could not get a stimulus passed. But we were able to get a Supreme Court justice in. If that doesn't tell you where we are able to get two in, if that doesn't tell you where priorities have been lost completely, that should tell us everything that we need to know. That this has become political. It is not about the people. It is not for the people. And so we have to really get to a point like they did in Georgia, where you have to make the changes. If we don't make these changes, these things are still going to be happening. All three of us are going to be on Chat Daddy Show again in another year talking about the problem.
Same thing over and over again. All right. Juvember. That's right. I'm not coming out the house until Juvember 32nd, 2025. That's when I'm coming out the house again. I'm gonna make limited appearances at grocery stores, drugstores, things like that. But I'm not coming out the house. Bar mitzvahs again. Yeah, bar mitzvahs. I'm now doing memorial services online. I'm now emceeing online. So we'll see. I'll be right here. Yes. Okay. All right. So as you guys all know, we're a health show, and we always want to give you the latest COVID-19 update numbers, as well as we want to encourage you to know the importance of wearing your mask. Today, Illinois public health officials, try saying that super fast, announced 7,569 new confirmed or probable cases of COVID-19. Unfortunately, we had 139 additional fatalities. 139 is what we had. Yes. This now, am I right about that? Yeah, that was today. Let me see, because I think that's what we had.
You actually are correct. And on the national side, an American dies every 10 minutes.
You said
yes. Okay.
One American dies every 10 minutes now at this rate.
Yes. Yes. And in Illinois, we now have a total number of confirmed cases of 999,288, with a statewide death total now of 17,096. And this has been since the beginning of the pandemic, and all that shenanigan and foolery that went on at the Capitol today. I know somebody was spreading it. And so that Capitol needs to be fumigated, cleaned out, saged. It needs to be all of that. It really does. Wow. So it is. That's crazy. Absolutely. Because again, people are not keeping in mind that we are in the middle of this pandemic. So we want to remind everyone the importance of wearing your mask. Please make sure you have your mask. Make sure you cover your nose and your mouth when you wear your mask. There you go. We all got our mask on. There we go. All right. Very good. Yes, absolutely. Also, make sure you clean your hands. Soap and water is the number one thing that you can use. If you don't have soap and water, good old hand sanitizer. Yes, take that hand sanitizer, put it in your hands. We're going to do what's called sexy sanitizers now. Yes. So take it. Yeah, right. Rub them hands together. We're going to help you find a mate by rubbing your hands and cleaning them. Yes. Oh, look at that. Yeah. See, Kevin, right. We're going to have a fans only page. Right. People that get into people rubbing their hands together.
Yes.
Oh, well, that's all right. You can just join the
never been married. I've been tapping my hands like a genie.
Right. Oh, Lord. Okay.
He has to join my site with me.
He got a what?
He says he's 56 and never been married.
Right.
57.
57. You have to join my sites. Oh, you will love it.
Okay. I'm in. I'm ready to go. I love the whole concept of anything that can help me get to that point.
Well, that's the reason why he's here tonight, for the relationship portion of tonight's show. I think I
was just gonna be an observer.
No. We'll talk. All right. So social distance is the most important thing you guys can do. 6 to 10 feet away. Stand back. If you're not feeling well, keep your ass in the house. You ain't got to go. Nobody's holding you hostage. Just stay in the crib. Just you used to it now. Make your home your sanctuary, and you know what to do. So make sure you keep yourself safe. All right. So we've done the public service announcement. We've talked about what happened today. We want to congratulate the state of Georgia. The state of Georgia is blue now. It is blue now. It was a nail biter down to the wire. And I told you guys yesterday we would not get the results until today. And we did get the results today, this evening, amidst all this other foolishness that was going on, that Georgia has now turned blue. So congratulations to all the winners.
By the way, Art, nothing on Twitter from David Perdue and nothing from Kelly Loeffler. They've not said a word, either of them, since yesterday. Not a word.
They look, ain't none of them, because they all bitter now. They so salty. They so salty. Look, Mitch McConnell may look like a turtle, but when that stuff went down today, Mitch McConnell was moving like a rabbit. Did y'all see him today?
Yeah, but did you hear his speech?
Baby, he hopped his ass out of that blue room so quick he didn't know what to do. Right.
Yes, but even with when he was speaking earlier, it was like, that there's a transition of power, and then that we can't be negative. And he was doing. I'm sitting here like, your doggone Deputy Turtle looking self from all this doggone time was sucking dog on or Agent Orange,
right?
Private parts,
right.
All the and Pence too, for that matter. All the people who have been enablers for the last 4 years, all of the Chris Christie and McConnell and Lindsey Graham and all those people, all of a sudden now they want and the part of the problem is, and this is why we continue to have difficulty with our structural inequities, is that we see these things, but we don't take note that these are the people that need to be removed, and it needs to be remembered in the next election. Mm-hmm. No one ever removes them. No one ever holds anyone accountable. One thing the great Dick Gregory said, and I'll never forget this, I was watching him speak, and Dick Gregory said, if someone doesn't have anything to lose, they're not going to change. You have to give people something to lose. You need to give the police something to lose. They need to lose their pension if there's misconduct. You need to give a politician something to lose. Not only does he lose, but his family loses. Yeah. He doesn't just lose in the pocket. He loses somewhere else. You need to give people something to lose. There is no accountability. Along with the lack of morality, along with the lack of reality, we do not have accountability in this country because it is government by selection. It's law enforcement and enforcement by selection. And that's not the way this was meant to be. Until you give people something to lose, there's not going to be any change. And there's not going to be any change in our political system. There's not going to be change in our social services. There's not going to be any change in our racial and class relations. None of those things are going to happen until somebody has something to lose. And it's not the people who don't have. It's the do-haves that need to lose something. That's what needs to happen.
Right.
Well, let's see what happens in the next 24 hours, because I can't wait to see all these individuals that come out saying, the people that supported Trump, the senators who wanted filibuster, the consignment on today. I want to see what they're saying to their constituents now.
Absolutely. And are they going to still continue with this? Are they going to move forward after seeing what the results can be, how damaging that can be?
Right. But then that's when we have to bring our treason laws down, what our forefathers wrote 1 million years ago, and start holding these people accountable.
Absolutely correct.
All the roosters are going to come home to roost.
What they did today was in the old days was a hangable offense. There would have been no questions about it. And I don't care what color they were, if it was slaves, if they were Irish immigrants, Italian immigrants, those were hangable offenses. What happened today, literally. That's what would have happened 100 years ago.
Yes, it was.
If it would have happened in Korea, North Korea, or South Pacific country, they would have landed them all on the wall and they all would have been shot.
And that's it, because this is insurrection and it borders on sedition. And these are all addressed. That's another thing. It's so funny. In the last year, I've heard so many pundits talk about, we didn't expect this. We didn't know. We never expected a president who wouldn't agree to a peaceful transfer of power. We didn't expect a pandemic. We didn't expect someone to storm the Capitol. You know why they didn't expect it? Because this country lives under a very thin veil that it has created, and it's the American flag, and they put it on and think that solves all the problems. They never thought for 1 second that somebody would actually challenge that, and that challenge would come from inside, would come internally. We're so busy looking outside. We're a country that for the most part in 2019, $794 billion to a military budget. We've got a space patrol
everywhere,
and we've done all of these things, and we're always looking for the enemy to be outside when the enemy is right here.
Enemy been growing within.
That's right. Yeah.
But they wanted to make it seem like it was the Black Lives Matter people.
They've always been able to deflect. You can't deflect. We only make up a 13% of the population, and we certainly don't run Congress. We certainly haven't been sitting in the White House. You can't blame this on African Americans. You cannot blame this on people of color. This is the direct responsibility of the larger number of those in charge. And now we'll have an opportunity to see whether or not they're going to hold themselves accountable or not.
Hallelujah.
Right. Hallelujah. I agree. Amen. Amen. Gone. You finished.
I'm trying to look for a collection plate to pass.
Right. Gone, LeMay. You finished shout. We finished shout. For those of you all that are just joining us, welcome to the Wednesday night edition of the Real Chat Daddy Show. I am your host, Chat Daddy, and we've been here talking now for the last 50 minutes about a lot of different things, but the most important thing that we've been talking about is what unfolded in Washington, D.C. today at the Capitol. My co-host, Ms. Diteria Towns, she was here actually to talk about relationships. We're going to talk about the new Bachelor, all of that. But she actually was a congressional aide for over 8 years and really an appropriate guest for this evening. Mr. Kevin Ross is here with us. We love Kevin. Kevin always a lot of information to share, always on point about some things. And Kevin, I called him last minute, like, look, brother, I need you to chime in tonight because this is heavy. This weighs on a lot of people. You know, I'm probably gonna have therapists on this show next week to be able to talk to people. Mind you, our children were at home today, homeschooling, watching this. Imagine the person who has been in the house paranoid, pre-existing health conditions, and now wondering if something else is going to pop off here because there were Trump supporters protesting in LA also today.
Ooh,
we didn't even have time to catch the news anywhere else because we were so busy focusing on DC. There were Trump supporters in LA today as well too. So this puts a lot on people's psyche.
Yeah.
Remember, 70 million people voted for him. And that's what I say, it's over 70-something million people that voted for him. They believe that voted for Trump.
73 million.
73 million to be exact. So you got 70 million
people voted for
I know black DNA men that voted for him. And I'm just
we'll have another show where I talk about plantation mentality. That's a whole nother hour.
Well, today I was looking for what I could see of anybody that looked black in that crowd, and I'd be damned if on TV we didn't catch the brother with the black sweatpants on and the Trump hat backwards, and he's standing there, right? Yep. And again, to each his own. I'm not here to judge people for what they do, who they are.
Somebody gave him some food, put that crack thing on there, and was like, "We'll give you some on later on today." It's decent.
Girl, I believe somebody tricked him and told him that the stimulus checks was being handed out in that line. I think that because otherwise, what in the hell is wrong with you? What is wrong with you?
Maybe he thought that the baby was going to be performing at halftime in the session or something. I don't know. Be there.
Well, okay, because we didn't see local news this evening, but Watika did report. She's saying that Chicago, we did have protesters at Trump Towers today. Because we were
trying to burn Trump Towers down, like the normal Chicago people want to go around trying to burn it down.
Right. Well, that's not going to matter much because he doesn't own Trump Towers. He just leases his name to the property. This is what he's done his whole career. He attaches his name to things, and then people think they're his. When in reality, he simply rents out his name, so his name is on that.
Yeah, he rents out his name. Yes, I've been telling everybody that. They was like, "Oh, it's Trump Tower. He don't own shit."
Nope, not a
He's a con man. It's a con. It's a farce. Hello, he had like one of the #1 reality TV shows. And then at the end of the day, which please everyone forgive me, he's a crazy ass Gemini. He is loving all of this disruption
Well,
and
that explains everything. His zodiac sign. He's a Gemini.
I've been telling
Well,
you that.
no. We look. I heavily rely on zodiac signs as well too, and she's a Gemini, so she, you know, what I'm saying?
Oh, you're a
She's a
Gemini.
Gemini, right?
Oh,
Right.
You know,
Okay.
crazy. I be telling people that I'm like, oh, this. I remember he did something one day, and I'm like, I gave my friends the play-by-play. They was like, how did you know that guy? I'm like, he's a Gemini. He crazy as hell. I know all those other little people that be talking to him. Yes.
So you're a Gemini yourself as
Of
well.
course I am. You know, God created us. We're fabulous.
You know, Gemini women, the sex is fantastic.
Oh my God, you have no idea.
Yes, I do actually. But sorry, Art. I'm sorry.
Okay. Let me get my little. Let me
Right,
get
we
my
get a little
little
bit- we get a
supposed
little
to be right. Let me get my health and wellness, supposed to be a family-oriented spiritual show, back on track.
I'm sorry.
Oh Lord.
Stop.
Okay.
Stop.
See, I couldn't have put two better people together.
Yeah.
All right. So I real quick, I want to talk about the new Bachelor. Everybody is all abuzz about the first African American Bachelor. This show has been on 25 seasons, and he is the new Bachelor. So, Tatiria, I know you looking for Mr. You know, forever. The Bachelor is a nice looking dude. I think it's a lot going on with him. What do you think?
So, because I refuse to watch TV shows like that, to kind of that conversation definitely shifted. I decided to break out my new Christmas present and sign up for Match.com, Tinder, Black People Meet. I don't know what else I signed up. Someone was telling me something the other day. But while everybody was looking for their Bachelor, looking at the Bachelor on TV, I was like, darling, pour you a glass of wine, light you a wonderful candle, and find your own Bachelor. But as Art found out later on that evening, I did not find any bachelors. All I know that there are some strange people in this world. And then it made me think twice. And then I had to call Art back again, crying. I took a Xanax and I went to sleep, and I woke up the next morning. I'm still here. So, hey.
That's why I won't participate in online dating. I don't do any of that stuff because you're still not getting the real person. You're still able to engineer your profile. I could go on and say that I'm a test pilot for the United States government and I do all of this and I'm living in my mama's basement for real. I mean, none of that stuff, you can't depend on those things. You can't trust it. So now, but you do have a good idea there. Maybe I've never watched The Bachelor or The Bachelorette or any of those shows, but I've seen the concept. Maybe I should hold an audition of some type, a contest, and then I could get a number of women, then I can see who the person is for me. And I don't know how to evaluate it, but
listen. You already been slotted for something that I'm doing. You don't tell me no for any of my experiments.
Okay.
So just pipe down. Just pipe down. Right. Just as Shirley Caesar would say, hold my mule. I got something.
I'll give you the Eddie Murphy.
That's right. Keep in mind that 26 years ago, I was the person who started people talking about their relationships. I'm the person who told Black folks that love was the best thing that could ever happen to you. I've had 11 couples meet and get married through me. So guess who's back? The pandemic brought Chat Daddy back to be able to help love. Yes. So there we go.
All I need. That's all I need.
January. That's all you need to do now. So what we're going to do, we're going to shift gears real quick. Coming up on tomorrow night's show, make sure you guys are here. Tomorrow night, Thursday night, we're going to follow up with the last 24 hours of everything that has gone on in Washington, D.C., as well as all the latest update on the news stories of the day and the latest COVID-19 statistics. Joining me tomorrow night is, of course, K. Renee Mason. K. Renee is our permanent part-time co-host, and also joining us tomorrow evening is Kim Coleman. We just love Sister Girl Speaks out of Oklahoma. Both of the ladies want to give us their take on what has happened the last 24 hours. So y'all get ready. I'm gonna actually order me some cheddar biscuits in order of the occasion. Right. I love when Kim said the other night, once I figured out Red Lobster delivered them cheddar biscuits, I was done. So yes, but tomorrow night it's gonna be on and popping. And then our good friend Mr. Leon Walker will be here tomorrow night. As you guys all know, Leon has written several books about relationships. He's the brother that's been through it all, but he's the brother that's very open and honest about everything that he's been through in order to help other men and women to make their relationships better. And so tomorrow night, he will be talking about love language for the new year. All right. So make sure you guys are here tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Oh, Takana of Chef Takana's Kitchen. Okay. So
I saw her.
yes, that's my girl now. And, you know, she's been a co-host on the show and I just love and adore her. So this past Sunday, she had her brunch offering where you call a couple of days in advance, you order what you want, you get the stuff delivered or you pick it up. I had mine delivered. Chef Takana, wait. Now, you know, I'm special now. Chef Takana has these amazing grits that she does.
Oh, I've been on
she did grits with crab in it. And it was just it was exquisite. Then she did jerk, oxtail, and grits. And it was it was good too. Both of them were really good. I didn't share them with anybody. I feel like a little piglet, but they were delicious. They were absolutely. I love grits, and these were they were so creamy and hearty and all of that. So shout out to Chef Takana for her amazing grits. Here she go. Need more grits, honey. I ain't gonna never turn your grits down.
Oh my
I want to.
So how can we?
So I graduated. I went to high school with Takana, and I've been on Takana food since 1993. Yes.
Wow. So
really?
Does she have a central place we can go, or does she deliver?
Yeah.
How can
we'll have to have Chef Takana come back and co-host with us one day, maybe next week, and she can tell you guys all about her wonderful brunch offerings. But they were just incredible, delicious grits, and I love her to no end. All right. So now, in order to help people with their relationships this year, I talked to my good friend, Miss Bacteria, and I said, oh, here's Takana's website, you guys. You can always go to her website. Wait. Y'all sending so many messages, I'm missing it. Hold on one second. Okay. There's Takana's website, you guys. TakanaSKitchen.com. TakanaSKitchen.com. She's a Chicago-based company doing a really, really great job. Really great job. Yes. All right. And my friend Joseph from the Cincinnati area, he said he saw where I posted the video about the grits. They were amazing. The Krabby grits were just great.
Ooh,
all right.
I'm ordering Takana tonight when we get off.
All right, so let's get back to our conversation. So I'm in the process of helping single women that I know to find them their forever mate. 3 of my good friends got engaged and married last year during a pandemic, even while being out of work. So that lets me know that love endures all things. And so this year, I think now more than ever, for a lot of people who have been single, I know people who have been single for double-digit years now, and it's okay. You know, you grow, you learn, you stack your paper, you do whatever it is that you need to do to be who you need to be, but a loving relationship is essential. And so Bacteria, I want to find out.
You still thinking about those grits? I thought.
I am. Look. So wait, I want to find out what are 3 of the biggest problems you're having with the men you've been meeting, because you did send me the profiles of those gentlemen and I looked through them and I could tell you right away what the deal was. What are your 3 biggest problems you're having with men that you're trying to date?
Oh God. I can't even get words out, because when I think about that list of individuals that was in my inbox, I just can't believe that they even had the audacity to even like my picture. Like, you know, the conversations that they had, like, dude, do you see what I look like? I'm sorry, I'm a little vain like that, but this is not going to work. But one guy, he was just the conversation was not there for me. Another gentleman, he looks like he smokes marijuana or whatever. His lips is like really, really dark. And I think that he probably just got out the penitentiary like 3 days ago. Then
you sound like you was talking to Dave Chappelle, that one character of his.
Yes. And then The one that
Ashley Larry.
Ashley Larry. You had Ashley Larry in your head. That's the problem.
Right. And then one guy, he, I took the initiative to be, not saying aggressive, but very forward. Hello, I'm Thyatira. How are you doing? Happy New Year, things like that. And then he proceeded to talk about my breasts. Now I kept thinking about it, I was like, I didn't even have a full picture, which I did have a full picture, but I was like fully covered. So after that, I was like, God, either you might as well just take me now.
I shouldn't be laughing. No,
it's serious.
I hear these crazy stories all the time.
I mean, it's like I was. Chat Daddy knows I was sad, depressed that night before I went to bed. Thank God he called me to make me laugh it out, because I was sitting there like, of course, everyone knows I would never kill myself, but I'm like, God, you might as well just take me now. We'll call it a day. I mean, my funeral is already paid for. Everyone knows my ashes are going to be sprinkled around the city of Chicago in helicopters, so y'all going to all inhale me one day. But to make a long story short, yeah, I just didn't feel like this is my cream. This is the cream of my crop. If this is it, then I'm done. And then I switched over to Tinder to see what the Tinder people were. Again, it was a little interesting. And I just want someone that you can just pick up the phone to and talk. Like, I have to take my time and go on the phone or go on the computer and send messages. This is like too much. But this is what I said I was going to do, because I think on January 1st, this was supposed to be, hey, if you're looking for someone, this is the time of year. What happened? This is the time of year you're supposed to, go out and, make yourself available. But again, we're in the middle of a pandemic. So Chat Daddy, I think when I moved to Chicago, was it 17 years ago, he had the best relationship series. No, I didn't meet anybody there, but I just met some great, fabulous people that I've been friends with all these years. But trying to meet someone online, it's a little rough.
So we were talking about the gentleman that was brutally honest with the young lady, and he ended up getting a lot of heat from that. The relationship advice guy. What was his name again? We were talking about him.
I can't remember his name, but I mean,
that told the girl she was average at best.
She was average at best, and I mean, he crushed her. But sometimes you got to tell a person the truth. And like literally, I would go to my friends and was like, Kevin, tell me what is wrong with me, or this or that. And he's like, you're fine. You're this. No, you're my friend. You're never going to tell me the truth. So you try to go outside the box to tell you. Like Chat Daddy is very brutally honest with me. He was like, you are king too much, but it's okay because you're a king too much person. So I don't know. Like, I'm not going to dim my light just to be like, meek.
All right. So here, and before Kevin chime in, this is what I'm going to say. You are too much, but I don't think too much in a bad way. I'm very proud of all your success you've had with your life, your career, your travel. But when guys see pictures of you, they see well put together. They see beautiful. They see this as a woman that, is used to some things. So most guys are going to have one or two things to be able to offer you. Maybe they can throw you a few ends, be your friend, that type of thing. Or the other type of guy is that this woman is so well off in her appearance and in what she does. All I got to do is supply her the what. And you end up probably, being the sugar mama, taking care of them, all of that. You probably need to change where you're searching for people. And I know that sounds crazy because we all want to meet somebody where we live in our area. I ain't trying to do long distance, all that kind of stuff, but you really probably do need to change your search pattern in your area. And we talked about that before.
I think I'm gonna have to move.
I don't know that I agree with that, but I'll wait for Chat Daddy to get to me.
Go ahead, Kevin. I'm now curious to know. She told you the things that were bothering her. Mm-hmm. Here you are, a single Black man. You meet beautiful women like Thyatira all the time. What's your take on all of this?
So that's I don't believe that it's so much. And I used to think the same as you. I'm actually originally from California. Born in Sacramento. I lived in Los Angeles before I moved here in 1996. and I've been here since then. Now, here's what I will say is that women that I've, there's a difference in the women that are here, but there's also a difference in the women that are in New York. I've dated women from New York. I've dated women from Atlanta. So each place has its own flavor, and the different types of women, especially down south, you're going to find are consistently different than people here. What I think happens in Chicago, this is my theory, is that there are a lot of people here that are originally from the South. Now, the South has some very great inbred qualities for people. They're very kind, they're very giving, they're very courteous. But once they get to the city, and Chicago is a tough city, somehow that changes around. Somehow that they adapt this exterior, and then you have people who have grown up here, after having moved from the South maybe at a younger age, but they've grown up. Chicago is a tough town. Chicago is a tough city. If you take a really good look at the projects and you look at the segregation that's here and the different, the different ways that African Americans here specifically have had a difficult time, I think that trickles down to our social lives and the way that we relate. But I also think that everyone thinks, for a lot of people, let me stop saying everyone, a lot of people think that everything is a hustle here. Somehow Chicago's the big hustle city. It's the big hustle town. And that trickles down to our dating, where there's always some ulterior motive. I've seen a lot of women that have gone out with guys just so they can get a free meal. I've seen guys looking for a woman that pays for things and cooks for them. And that's all it is.
Yep.
This dependency, it's this codependency that's unhealthy, this unhealthy push-pull, instead of allowing people to be who they are and getting to know somebody. I remember a couple of years ago, and this sticks with me. I was a guest on a show, and someone from the audience asked, this was live when we actually could have crowds, and they said, "Do you think coffee is a real date? You think that a coffee date is considered a real date?" And there were some women who did not consider going for coffee a real date. And that really, really surprised me. I was when you have that type of limitation on things, then you're going to have problems like we have in terms of trying to find a mate. That's just my 2 cents. That's only one thing.
Let me ask you this, Thyteria. Did you ever think at this particular point in your life, I don't even need to go that far.
Yeah,
really?
So literally, I felt like when I was in my 20s and dating in my 20s, I felt like I have to accomplish so much more in life. So the guys, it was really not a lot of guys. Like the 2 dudes that I dated, within the 20s, one was just a whore. So I'm like, I'm not gonna marry him. He's been married 4 times. He still can't get it right. And then the other guy, I just didn't feel it. I want the butterflies. I want to feel like I could be with this person, and I wanted to be with that person. And then, my 30s, I worked in DC. That was a whole different lifestyle. DC lifestyle, you don't want to be married because I'm going to the gardens after I get out, out of session, popping things. You always got someone to pay for it, and you partying. And I love that life. I adored that life. And
but okay. Let me say this real quick. That what you said is very much what we as a race of people think. Who wants to be married? Parties, going out, mingling, having a good time, finger popping, all of that. So now let me say this. If you had a white college roommate, your white college roommate went out party. That's right. They followed the master plan of what it took to be in a relationship, good or bad. They followed that master plan. A lot of us, male, female, gay, straight, whatever the case may be, somebody else will come along. It'll be this, it'll be that. No, you've wasted a lot of time not really settling down. That's right. Oh my God. See, I didn't want to bring up how long
I don't understand it. I feel like I look amazing, right?
No, you do. You
But at
do.
the end of the day, like, those numbers are getting up. One day I'm going to be 50, but I do not want to be 50 still sitting here like, oh my God, why am I still so single? Like,
you mean like me? You mean like me?
That's the reality in which we live in now. And I mean, yeah, it's
she does describe me. That's funny. So let me ask a question. So Art says you're too much. Let's look at what too much means. What does too much? Because I hear that a lot from people. Oh, he's too much, or she's too much, or they're too. What is too much? Because sometimes this is another belief that I have, and I'm such an expert, right? But I'm still single. I believe that our bar has been lowered significantly over the years in terms of where we are as a culture.
Okay.
And I think that the expectations have been lowered and lowered each changing cycle of our culture. And so when someone says too much can be a woman who's working on her career. Too much can be a woman that has a great sense of humor that the guy doesn't understand or can't match. Too much can be like you. As far as I can tell, you have a great personality. I could hang out with you easily because I'm a funny ass dude. I'll make you laugh. You make me laugh. That's great. That's actually the first thing that I like in a woman is a woman that there are two things I like in a woman. Number one, if she's smarter than me. And number two, if she can make me laugh. I love that about a woman because that's helping me become a better person. So I'm good with that. But a lot of guys are not good with that. A lot of men, especially in Chicago, are intimidated very easily. And I'm only saying this, I'm not trying to hate on my brothers because I'm friends with some great brothers that are married, have girlfriends, but the majority of men, for what I've heard from women and what I've seen, a lot of men are just they're intimidated very easily by women, and a lot of women have said this. And so you can't really judge it by that. And the other thing I think too is when we say looking for somebody, I've experienced more failure looking as opposed to I probably need more sitting still and let art and God do a partnership.
You get up a pandemic, you can't go nowhere.
Okay, it's all right. When God says it's going to happen, I don't care if it's a pandemic. I don't care if Moses is outside your door on the ark talking about come on along, listen to the lullaby of Broadway, whatever. When God says it's going to happen, it's going to happen, and He'll make it happen in a pandemic. He'll make it happen anywhere. He will.
But then this is that reality part that popped in on Monday night. You know, it could be a what if there is no soulmate for me. What if you know I am going to be single for the rest of my life? Those are some of the doggone realities in which I have to accept and I have to live in. But going to the piece with too much, I dated a dude, like my last, it didn't really, whatever. But the last dude I dated, you know, he literally always told me like, "Thigh, you're too much," or you know, I cannot help but I live out loud. I'm never going to be a meek, quiet little person. I'm not always opinionated, but I'm definitely going to tell you if you try it this way, this might work a little bit better for you.
Right.
That wasn't the problem. You know, he was just a whore, but he actually allowed me to live my life the way I want to live it. You know, never tried to stifle me, never tried to shut me up. I'm very spontaneous. So like literally, I mean, I can't do it tomorrow because I have to work, but I already know Saturday morning. And if I don't have anything to do, I'm either going to drive to Michigan, I'm going to drive downstate just to clear my head, just to, you know, get out. Or hell, I might wait, you know, who knows what I'm going to do from day to day because I don't know. So having that spontaneous feelings or personality, a lot of people can't handle that. Or I can't plan shit. Like I ain't planning nothing. Only thing I know how to plan when Chat Daddy tell me to come into the show, I'm gonna plan a nice room.
That's about it.
So now I have
backstage in the chat studio about 6:55 and be ready.
That's right. So now, Dr. I do have to ask you this question. So you know, what if a brother does not have a job? What if a brother is you know, pandemic, in between situations, circumstances, things like that, and you are a very spontaneous woman. You love to travel. Well, it's not like you'd be doing restaurants and stuff like that now, but you are the type, you are the type of woman that do enjoy those $15 martinis down there on Rush Street. And would you settle for a brother that had less than you and was not as capable, but had a loving and generous spirit? Now, I said spirit. A spirit is different than a wallet and a credit card.
And was able to respect you for you and was very genuine with you. We have to add that in.
Oh, okay.
I'm down for whatever right about now. You could be a bus driver. You could be a garbage man. Garbage man makes good money. I mean, and I got enough sad hustles. When you say Chicago is the city of hustlers, I'm like, damn, that's me. Yeah, I have 5 jobs. I work at a regular, 9 to 5 that pays my insurance. I own my own company. I'm a whatever notary thing that I do, a mobile notary. And then everyone knows my fun jobs that I have. But if they can, I am open to whatever at this particular point in my life. But I do feel if you can't bring anything to the table, like, hey, prime example, our Chat Daddy knows I love running to Papados to give me a swamp thing from time to time. If the dude was like, I don't have a car, but hey, can I drive you to Papados and bring me back? That means I can have 2 swamp things. Yes, I will be so happy.
Well, I don't think we should ever settle.
I can't hear neither one.
I
can't hear him. You broke up.
I said, Thigh, you too damn much. And that's all I'm gonna say.
I don't think we should ever have to settle, and I don't ever think that we should not be able to be ourselves, whatever that is, whether you're a Gemini, whether you're a Libra like myself, whatever the case may be. I don't think that we should have to change who we are. I believe that we should be accepted for who we are now. We have to be accountable for things that we do or don't do. I'm in the entertainment industry, so I guess this is a good segue for me. I don't know that there are 3 things that are difficult when it comes to me. I'll say that there are 2 most definitely. Number one, because I've worked in the entertainment industry for over 30 years, and generally I've always either been around beautiful women or whatever the case may be. I've always had women that thought that I have my pick of women, so why would I just pick them? Why would I just pick one? How could I possibly be faithful when I have all of these choices? That's one big problem that I've had, is working in the entertainment industry. And the other problem that I guess would be even more significant than that is I've had women say that I'm too good to be true. And before you guys start laughing and before you guys think I'm bragging, I still say yes, sir, and yes, ma'am. I call when I say I'm going to call. I've never cheated in a relationship that I've ever been in my entire 57 years, ever. I've never cheated. I just, and I listen. I've had to learn the hard way that a man can't solve every problem. So when a woman talks, your best thing is to listen. You have to listen to a woman, and sometimes she'll need your input, other times she won't, and all of these things. But sometimes that's worked against me. I've had women say that I'm too good to be true, and so I sit and they say, I really, they'll come up like 10 years later. I would have talked to you, but I just thought you were too good to be true. Like they'll come tell me 10 years later after I see them at a Melzy Porter party, stuff like that. And I'm just like, man, that's a big part of the problem.
Well, one thing that Chat Daddy told me to do, which I guess I'm going to say it publicly, but I know you can't tell people in a relationship. If whips and chains excite you, you got to be in. You cannot go ahead and like spring it out and be like, hi, tie me up and lock me up. Yeah, you can't do that because that scares people off.
Right. Should wait at least till the second date.
I did that.
Yes. Put the mask on. Yes.
But learn. So, I did not know that then.
I'm a Green Hornet mask.
Dude, I got masks too. What you talking about all day? I keep talking about
right. I'm loving this little pandemic period with the little mask. I got some masks that's for late night too. All right. So listen, for those of you all that are just joining us, welcome to the Wednesday night edition of the Real Chat Daddy Show. I am your host, Chat Daddy, here Monday through Thursday night. Tonight, the beginning of our show was dedicated to talking about everything that went on in Washington, D.C. today. We saw disrespect just on every level. Anarchy at its best. Our president, Donald Trump, took to Twitter, which they now have taken down his account, if I'm not mistaken. They've either restricted or taken down his account. I think that's what I've been seeing. And just the things that unfolded today are just things that none of us would have ever thought about. Keep in mind, we are in the midst of a global pandemic right now. So we want to remind everyone to be safe. Was I right about his Twitter account?
They took it down. It says this tweet is no longer available because it violated Twitter rules. Learn more.
Right. Woo! Yes, absolutely.
I'm glad I screenshot the ones.
Wow.
So Thyteria Towns is my co-host this evening, the lovely Miss Thyteria. And she was supposed to be here because she's a beautiful single woman who's looking for love in 2021. And the Real Chat Daddy, yours truly, is trying to help her to find her forever mate. Mr. Kevin Ross, who's been here many times, is a guest co-host and a dear friend of mine, just happens to be single, and he's still sitting here. We're having a conversation now. They both have been bamboozled and hoodwinked into helping me continue this thing that I'm creating. I'm creating some synergy now. And so Kevin is officially the first bachelor that gets to sit down with Miss Thyteria. And, we'll run it like that. All right. Who knew? Who knew?
I never would have expected this on this show. Never.
Right. I'm trying to be a media mogul. I'm trying to keep creating all these shows every night. So yes, it works well.
I'm looking at some of the comments. Is it Watika?
Yes, Watika.
If I don't get your name right, I apologize, darling. So she says, "Can he cook?" I guess that's towards me. I don't know. She's asking if I cook. So yes, I can. I can cook. I grew up with 3 sisters. I was the only boy in the family. And I learned how to cook 2 ways. One was watching my mother, and the other way was my sister. They said, we're not going to be cooking for you for the rest of your life. You're going to have to get your butt out there and learn how to sew, learn how to cook, learn how to wash clothes properly. Make sure your fingernails are clipped. Make sure you got good shoes. So I grew up in a house full of women. So yes, Watika, I do know how to cook, if that's your question. So yes, I do.
I'm taking tallies. This is great.
Yes, it is. Fi, what is the biggest thing that you want now more than ever? We know a mate is essential, but what is one other thing that I really, if I had to find you somebody, what do you want more than anything out of this guy?
Honesty and love. I mean, if you could be honest and love me, then the world is like the oyster. I would go for it.
And liking chains and whips does not make it bad either, right?
Does not. I mean, I can't believe that happened. And every time I think about it, I get so sad. Like, oh my God, you probably scared off a real good potential mate. But then I think about him like he is not a potential mate if he was scared of freaking damn whips and chains. Like, it wasn't even a big whip. It was a little whip. Oh, I digress. Back to what we were saying. If you can love me and be honest and don't BS me. I'm not going to cook. Like, just understand that certain things I don't do. It's not that I can't do. I just really just don't have time and I don't have a desire. But I have a great dishwasher. My kitchen is going to be clean. And then when it comes down to laundry, that's where maids come from or mamas. So, hey, sky's the limit.
Interesting. All right, Kevin, what is a deal breaker with you when it comes to women? Did we lose him?
We lost him. Oh,
we lost.
Man, every time Every time I say the whips and chains, it scares people off, Chat Daddy.
So can we at least share some of the whips and chains story? Because I look, I'm with you. I told the women Monday night on the show, listen, at a certain age in life, you've got to start looking for what it is that you want. And if chains and whips excite you, you need to find you some chains and whip users. So what can we kind of get a little of that backstory of the chains and whips?
So I think it was like Rihanna's song S&M. I love like the video and I love like the whole concept of it.
I do too.
I always was like, oh my God, I want someone to tie me up. And I think it was like an old song, tie me up and, you know, pull my hair or whatever. And I just want to see, you know, what does it do for you during a sexual act? And it turned my ass out. And I'm like, who in the world would know? But you just cannot give everyone access to, you know, the other side of your life. But I said I don't do laundry or get a maid and you went bye-bye.
Right. We thought chains and whips may have threw you too.
I just think too, a big part of a lot of difficulty is expectation. Unrealistic expectations that we set up for ourselves, expecting from people and vice versa what they're expecting from us, and not talking about those expectations in the beginning to see whether they're realistic or not. You know, those are some of the things that I think happen also. You know, I used to have some unrealistic expectations.
Like
and
what?
I learned the hard way. Like what? Oh goodness. So I would say I expected that a woman would understand that I would be working these late hours and going to these shows and doing all of this stuff. And I never thought that I would have to explain to her what I do, and in fact, sometimes show her what I do, bring her with me to an event or two. I just thought that it was just automatic that she would know and understand, and that's not the way that's not the way things work. You have to explain things.
Communicate.
Yeah, you have to communicate, and you have to show them, and sometimes you have to guide people along. And so I had to learn how to be more patient and more accommodating. And so, you know, that's an example of a very poor expectation that I had of the other person, you know, things like that. And I think with maturity, you learn these things. I've made mistakes before, and I think I've learned from those. And, you know, I think that's what makes us better each time. I do think that trial and error starts to wear down on you after a while. And I can't say this enough. Our morals and values and expectations have been extensively lowered over the years. And right now the bar is as low as it's ever been.
And I think in mine, I mean, I felt like I didn't lower my expectations with like the last dude. I just wanted to, maybe my expectations were always so high. Let's look at something different. And then when I looked at a different person, I'm like, okay, this really didn't work. And even when I'm looking at the individuals for, on the various sites, you know, I set my limit. These are my non-negotiables. I'm not dating a person that smokes. Then this one guy, he tells me, he was like, but he smokes cigars. Dude, you're still smoking. Hello, it's called my hair. I cannot wash my hair, or you're going to be putting my fur coat in doggone cleaners every 5 seconds. Like, no, I just don't like that. And if this is your vice, then I am not that person for you. You ask people, and it's so funny, you ask people, you know, do they drink? They say they're a social drinker. Okay, hello, Moscow Mule, I'm drinking now. But, you know, do you got to come home every day and have a drink, you know, or wake up in the morning with a drink? Then guess what, honey, you're an alcoholic.
That's
and you need to
absolutely, that's a problem.
That person. And I don't want to date a person with a lot of kids. Hello, my father has 1,000. I don't want, no, I'm not, that ain't my skilo. I don't want to do it. Or I'm meeting people that want, this one dude kept telling me I can have a baby. Not this 45-year-old womb. No, we're not doing that. You need to find somebody that want those things with you. I'm not adopting no baby. I'm not about to go have a surrogate. I don't even like kids like that. I got a niece and a nephew. I see them once every 3 months. I am happy.
So you're one of those. You're one of those that's good with a plant, and that should do it, huh?
Oh my! Do you not see my plants?
I see what I say, Art. Was I right or was I right?
Oh my God, a friend Eric McDonald, he's a real estate a realtor. Talked to him last night for like 2 hours, and he was like, "Thigh, just tell me something." He said, "I don't want you ever to become a cat lady." I was like, "I don't do animals." He was like, "Or you might be a plant lady." I'm like, and I looked around my house. I got 5 plants. I'm like, "Oh my God, one of those people."
That's all right, though. That's all right. Do you feel? Do you feel optimistic about you meeting the man of your dreams this year? Do you believe it?
But you know what? I've been optimistic since the age of 25. I literally,
Okay.
we were talking about that with our staff meeting on December 30th. And my boss asked, you know, what is your New Year's resolution? Everyone came up with their New Year's resolution or something that you do. I said, well, every New Year's, you know, at 12 o'clock, even though this year I was asleep, I always say I'm going to meet my future husband this year. I've been doing that since I was 25 years old. Am I going to stop? This year I did stop because I was asleep at midnight. But when I finally woke up at 8 o'clock in the morning, Lord, I'm so sorry. I forgot to ask, you know, don't forget to send my future husband this year and call it a day.
Okay. All right. Well, we have a lot of work to do. Right. We have a lot of work to do. We're going to work on this. Kevin, any final questions or comments you want to make to Miss Thyteria tonight?
None other than you are a very beautiful sister. You have a great energy and a great sense of humor. And I'm not the type of guy that would be intimidated by all of that, but that's just me.
Okay.
Again, I don't expect people to be like me. That's another thing I've had to work on. Another area of maturity is you can't expect people to be like you. So those are the things that I think that I've learned. And for yourself, I do believe that there will be somebody for you. I'm not sure that moving is the answer to that. But I'm certain that there's somebody out there, and you know, we gon' I know one thing, that prayer always works, and that's
I'm a PK. I can't help but to pray.
Yeah, God, prayer always works, and so let's just stay prayed up. For me, I always want to be better today than I was tomorrow, and a better man tomorrow than I am today, and that's all we can ask individually of ourselves, and then God will make the right thing happen.
Amen.
Amen. All right. All of that sounded good. All right. Kevin, real quick plug about how people can find you, follow you, all that great stuff.
You can find me at KRoss, KROSS Chicago on Instagram. And you can also find my company, which is a marketing and branding agency called Twoguard Media, TWOGUARD Media. And that's on Instagram as well. Two plugs, the website launches. The new website launches on Martin Luther King weekend, January 15th. It is going to be a fully interactive website and fully inclusive. It will include lots of great content. It'll include lots of great retail opportunities as well. And I'm very excited about that. And then, of course, I got to push my t-shirt line that's coming out.
Look,
that I've got on is part of my I Love the 90s collection.
Oh my God, I'm buying.
Okay, I love it. That's going to launch Martin Luther King weekend as well. And it's called Urban Pop Culture Clothing, UPC Clothing. And you can find that at Instagram as well. And once the website is up, you'll be able to buy directly from the website. So it's at Urban Pop Culture. That's where I am. Art, I cannot thank you enough for the opportunity, and I cannot thank you enough for the honor. Every time it is a blessing, not only to be on, but to be your friend. And I greatly appreciate it. And I'm very humble. Thank you.
Thank you, my friend. God bless you. Always a great job. Thank you for being available in a last minute pinch, but we had to talk about what happened today. And I felt you would best be able to help us do that. Kevin, always a pleasure to have you here. Darling Thyteria, dear. So first gentleman, Thyteria, I have some other gentlemen lined up for you as well, too. We'll talk about it tomorrow because we got to get your schedule coordinated. Your closing thoughts. Go right ahead. You there?
Oh, I didn't hear. Yeah, I'm here. It just did like a refurbish. What were you saying?
Oh, I said, wait a minute. The internet is not being good to us tonight.
It's not.
It is not. Mine is fluctuating also.
I know that's because there's too many people on probably talking about what happened today.
I think I got some MAGA protesters outside my house. They're trying to come in.
I think so too. Yeah, look, Thyteria, listen. This is one of a couple of gentlemen I want to present to you. So just hold tight. I got some others. We'll coordinate your schedule tomorrow, but give us your closing thought tonight on everything.
Oh my God. Thank you so much, Chat Daddy, for giving me this opportunity to come on your show once again. I enjoyed Mr. Ross. I can't wait to purchase some of his shirts. As far as the incidents that was going on in this world today, at the end of the day, we know that we are all covered by God, and at the end, it will all work out in the end. The drama that is still unfolding, oh, look at my Gemini sister. And I have to give it up for all the wonderful Geminis that's in this world. We are hopeless romantics, and we believe in everything, including unicorns. But I would like to just thank you again. I will continue to follow the current events. And hey, Chat Daddy, I appreciate you just having an ear for when I am on my wits end. And it was just so happy, serendipity, for me to send you a text message. It was like, oh, guess what? I just joined Tinder and I just joined this, and I'm going to try it one more time. So I only paid 1 month subscription to all of these sites, and hey, just see what happens. But I do like the interaction of having a real person to talk to, because they're not real, and I'm not giving my number out to people like that.
Okay, well, I'm getting ready to find some other bachelors. I'm getting ready to find you some other bachelors. Yes.
I get to wear more dresses. I'm happy.
Yes. All right. Well, on behalf of my co-host tonight, the beautiful Miss Thyteria Towns, the woman who I'm going to help find the man of her dreams in 2021, and my good friend, Mr. Kevin Ross. We appreciate you, sir. We really do. A lot of great feedback about tonight's show. Yeah, it was too much drama today. Too much drama today. Yes, it was way too much drama today. And then Wamelda, we just love you, Wamelda. She says, thank you guys so much. Great show tonight. We love you, and blessed evening as well, too. On behalf of my co-host tonight, you guys get some rest. I'm sure in the next 24 hours, we'll hear a lot more about what happened in DC and a lot of the reasons and people and all of that stuff. Be safe, be well. Don't forget to wear your mask, you guys. Wear your mask. Stay safe. Wear your mask. Please wear your mask. Cover your nose and your mouth. Yes, it's important. We are all wearing our mask. All right, girl, what's that? Oh, nice. Oh, your sleeping mask and your breathing mask. All right, very good. Yes, that's very nice.
You gotta specify which mask to wear, Chat Daddy.
Yeah, I know. You kind of like me. I got all kind of masks too, right? I was like, look, I'm into this mask thing way before this pandemic, but okay, all right.
We need to have a Mardi Gras show, because Mardi Gras is coming up, hun.
We will have you as a guest co-host that night. We'll do a Mardi Gras show.
We get to throw beads at people.
We'll do all of that. We will. All right, you guys, sanitize, social distance. If you're not feeling well, keep your ass at home. For more information about yours truly, do me a favor, visit therealchatdaddy.com. Therealchatdaddy.com is very easy and simple for you to do. The Wi-Fi is acting a big fool tonight, because I guess they know everybody is talking about the president. We all might be banned off of the internet. God bless you all. Have a wonderful evening. Thanks again, and be safe. We'll be back tomorrow night at 7 p.m. to cover everything. See you later. Bye, beautiful people. Bye.